Can't win them all, boys. You can't win them all.
The best show for Chicago.
But at least we got to see the arrival of Caleb Williams. There's a lot of upset people out here today. And while I am upset with the loss, I am not one of the people who is sitting here feeling like the world has come to an end because of what we saw versus possibly the best team in the NFC. We got to talk about that. Got to talk about Caleb Williams' play. Got to talk about this defense. It's hilarious to say the turn that has gone from offense to defense, but maybe I can be the calming voice on that as well. And take a look at how far this team could possibly go in the playoffs. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 12/29/2025. It's 1:04 in the afternoon. And I'm here to let you know,
guys, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be all right. I promise. Everybody breathe. Everybody take a second and breathe.
I know we're sitting here we lost the game. How can we do that? Oh my goodness. Oh, we were down to one throw away from winning versus one of the best teams in the NFC. Dang it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Big shout out to you guys, man, for tuning in as always. Make sure that you're hitting that thumbs up and that you're sharing the video everywhere that it can be shared up, man. Share it to your Twitter, share it to your YouTubes, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, whatever you're using. Make sure that you're spreading the content around, man. Don't gatekeep the content. We love that y'all love the breeze, but spread the wealth, man. We crossed 75K, by the way. Big shout out to all of the new people that are supporting the channel, all the people that are rocking with the channel. We've got content for just about everybody. We've actually crossed 76,000 subscribers. This has been a phenomenal month. Thank you to the Chicago Bears for winning. Definitely helps when the Bears win for you to gain subscribers. So big shout out, welcome in. If you are new to the channel, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We appreciate you guys for showing love. If you're not new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Yesterday was tough. Yesterday was a tough loss, a little bit of a gut punch at the end. But I didn't leave that game feeling like, oh my God, we're going to die. I didn't leave that game feeling like, oh my God, how did this team become the worst team in football history? I didn't leave that game feeling like there's no way that we can find a way to win football games moving forward. And there are two names that are at the top of that list. Why? Number one on that list is Ben Johnson. He went toe for toe with Kyle Shanahan. You know how difficult that is? You know how many times we've played the 49ers and we haven't been able to go toe for toe with toe to toe with toe for toe is crazy. Toe to toe with Kyle Shanahan. You know how many times we've been out-schemed, outperformed? So it was really good to see a head coach that could go, hey, blow for blow, I think is what I was looking to say there, with a guy like Kyle Shanahan. The number two guy is the guy that arrived yesterday. Because you needed your quarterback to step up in a game versus arguably the hottest team in football. Now, is that defense the hottest defense in football? No, it's a defense that you can get to. It's a defense that you can get at. I'm not sitting here, pretending like it's not. But there was a clear difference in what we saw yesterday versus the San Francisco 49ers, and that difference's name is Caleb Williams. By the way, in a game that I mean, I almost called the score perfectly. You knew. If you were a Bears fan yesterday and you didn't think that the 49ers were going to put up points, you were delusional. It's one of the hottest offenses in football. They hadn't punted in the month of December for 28 days, 3 games. They had not punted. They weren't even punting in practice. They said, we don't need you. Go home, relax. I don't know if that's true or not, but we made them punt 3 times, I believe. You knew going into that game you were going to have to put up points. And the question, being a Bears fan for as long as we all have been, is always, well, can the quarterback go in there and put up points? Well, can Caleb Williams go into someone else's stadium where the crowd is, I don't know, crowd kind of was like 40. Was the crowd 60-40 in your mind yesterday? Was it 60-40 yesterday? I felt like there was a lot of Bears fans in there. Bears fans love a West Coast travel trip at the end of the year. But you went into a hostile environment and went blow for blow with one of the hottest offenses in football. Am I upset that they lost the game? Yes. Do I feel like the world is ending? No, because your quarterback has arrived and can show up in those moments, can show up in those games, can put you in positions that we haven't been privy to, being Chicago Bears fans, because we haven't had quarterbacks that can go into a game confidently and say, we can go out there and compete on the offensive side of the football. I've never felt that outside of maybe Cuddy, but your fear with Cuddy was he'll give the football away. Not only do you have a quarterback that can go out there and ball out as Caleb Williams did, 330 yesterday. Let me get the numbers. I should have had that up here. My fault. I'm just coming back from the gym, which is why I don't have my glasses on, and I just realized this. And as I needed to read words right here, for those of you who didn't believe that I need glasses for real, my screen is on 400% right now. Caleb Williams yesterday, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, 100 quarterback rating, 100.3 quarterback rating, ran the offense, I thought, pretty much down to the T. Did everything you needed him to do, and you felt confident at the end of the game that you were going to have a shot to win the football game. In fact, you felt confident because he was going down there lacing the football in there. And I know it. Listen, guys, I get it. Like, we are, and I had to deal with this call all last night. It's the reason that I'm later on today and not on. We didn't go live at 6 o'clock this morning because I was on the radio till 2:30 in the morning. I got this call all yesterday. But Pat, how do you not run the football more? And it made me realize that there are certain things that we are just accustomed to doing. We're accustomed to looking for a specific reason why something needs to be the problem when we don't win. And yesterday, that specific reason had nothing to do with the offense. It had nothing to do with Caleb Williams. Heck, I see people, oh, well, Caleb's still missing some of those easy throws. He was hitting a lot of the tough ones, too. He also was hitting a lot of the easy ones that a couple of them end up getting dropped. Like, was it a perfect day from Caleb Williams? No, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect day from Caleb Williams. But I think some people listen to the discourse from Chris Collinsworth yesterday, and they take that as gospel. And that's just a crazy place to be. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Tar Hockey 33 said, I'm not worried. They went cross country. Shout out for the super chat, $10 super chat. Said they went cross country against Shanahan's offense and went toe to toe. Caleb balled out. All these dummies that never played Division IV football criticizing the offense need to shut the heck up. Division IV is crazy. You couldn't even get into Division IV. You suck. What a weird flex. Shout out to 666. He said, I still have it on good authority that Kyle Shanahan abandons puppies on the south side of the road and doesn't grant wishes for Make-A-Wish kids. Yeah, he's not a good guy, man. You got to watch this guy. I can't believe that Bears fans are coming into this game or coming out of this game knowing the history that we have, feeling anything but excitement for the future. Loss sucks. Wanted the win. Would have loved to have the number 1 seed in the NFC. You won the division. You were the best team in the NFC North. Y'all know we won 5 games last year, right? Y'all know there were people that left last season talking about Caleb Williams as if he doesn't have it with 68 sacks. Yesterday, yet again, he didn't take a sack in a game where there was consistent pressure in his face. What you're getting right now with the quarterback is absolutely gravy on top. What you're seeing is a young man develop into a franchise quarterback that on a consistent basis will give you a shot to win a football game. We have never said that. Never. I saw a quarterback do something yesterday I've never in my life seen a quarterback do. I saw Caleb Williams hard counter defense, get them to jump, run the play, which usually we just didn't do in the past. I'm not saying that it never happened, but run the play and complete it for a touchdown to Colston Loveland. I'm seeing growth from a quarterback that I've never seen in my life. I can't be unhappy this season. Every single week, we talk about Caleb Williams possibly having the best game of his career. And guess what? In a loss, this was Caleb Williams' best game of his career. Love what we saw versus the Packers. I think that may be the biggest game of Caleb Williams' career. But how he went in there and went toe-to-toe and ran the offense and delivered time and time again, 4th and 4, boom, slant route, Colston Loveland right there, got it done. You have a franchise quarterback, Chicago. I don't think y'all hear me. Or maybe it don't make the same impact on you that it makes on me. You have a franchise quarterback, Chicago. Does that mean that I don't want him to go win Super Bowls? Does that mean that I don't want him to go have a deep run in the playoffs this year? No. The losses suck. But you have a franchise, 10-year. We're going to have to pay this guy $500 million probably. Quarterback. He could possibly become the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history, which he may already be. But he solidifies it if he throws 270 yards next week, becoming the Bears' first 4,000-yard passer. Like, I am mind blown at how some people are reacting every single week. And we act like we just got embarrassed. By the way, you didn't get embarrassed because of the quarterback. Because of how Caleb Williams played. Because of how dominant he is. I love it. I'm in a great spot. King Booker World said some people just like to be miserable, Pat. Facts. Facts. The discourse today, and I think that, listen, yesterday would have been a great win to get. It puts you in a position for the first overall seed. We got to talk about this defense it's a problem, right? And I think we all know what the problem is. But I feel I come out of that game feeling like we have an answer that we've never had in our lives. And I felt like that already, but it's just every week seeing him go toe to toe and find ways to get the job done. Yesterday, if your defense shows up a little bit, probably gets the job done again. He was ready for the moment. They weren't. And we've seen that this season multiple times. Robert Diaz with the super chat. Shout out to you, my guy. Said, Pat, watching the Bears defense last night was like watching an episode of Benny Hill show. You could have played yakety sax the entire night after the pick six. It's as if our DC quit after that. I don't know if our DC quit. Here's the reality of it. And it's the bottom line in football. And we know this. This is not new to us. This is not foreign. We know this. If you can't rush 4 and put pressure on the quarterback, it's over. Now, the defense has survived this season by blitzing and by creating turnovers. You did create a turnover in that game, but after that, you weren't able to really get another one. Although I thought that the CJ-GJ one, little ticky-tacky in my opinion, by the letter of the law, it is correct. But a little ticky-tacky. But outside of that, like, listen, you're in this position right now where you have an opportunity to go out there and steal a game that people weren't expecting you to get. I wasn't expecting them to get it, and that's the defensive performance that you put on. That was unacceptable. It was terrible. It was god awful. Now, with that being said, when I see people say things like the Bears have no chance of winning in the playoffs with a defense like that, then why do we also think that the San Francisco 49ers can make it to the NFC title game? Because I think that's the exact same thing we saw. By the way, that is not indicative of the defense that we have seen the entire season. Now, the pressure is very indicative of the defense that we have seen this season. Unfortunately, for some reason, there is no fix for this defensive line. And the biggest concern that I have yesterday, and I am very sure that Ben Johnson will address this. I don't know if you guys saw this. Like, people are sitting there talking about, oh, they haven't played this well. They haven't been able to do this, yada, yada, yada. Listen, there's a defense that, for the most part, has contained some pretty good offenses here over the final stretch here, right? Like, they're not giving up 42 every single time. My biggest issue is it felt like a defense that after the first play kind of quit. It felt like a defense that realized that they were getting BTA, and they kind of were just like, yeah, that's going to happen. I accept. And I don't like that. And I would think that that is more the reason for change than the talent level that we've seen, because we've seen this defense overcome a ton this season. We've seen this defense overcome all of the deficiencies. We've seen this defense overcome the lack of pass rush. Why? Because they were willing to go out there and outwork teams. I didn't see that yesterday. I saw a defense that lied down like a dog. I saw a defense that packed it in. Honestly, in the first half. Some of the effort that we saw in that second quarter, horrendous. That concerns me more than the talent level that this defense has. Because when these guys are going balls to the wall, they look talented. I didn't think that we saw that effort yesterday. Now, again, I think you have a couple of guys. I think you have one guy for sure that's a good pass rusher. I think you have another guy in Austin Booker who is a developing pass rusher, but I'd say he's okay. You got a lot of seconds on this team in my mind, on the defensive line. I would love Montez Sweat as the second to a star pass rusher. Right? You find a way to get Max Crosby in here. Oh my God. I would love Montez Sweat next to him. You got to find that guy, though. And that guy's not on this team. Now, with all that being said, I would also say this is a defense that more times than not has gotten the interceptions, has put them in a position to go down and score easy points, does lead the NFL in takeaways, does have the takeaway leader on this defense. I don't think that just is done. That was a horrendous game by this defense. I would bet you probably going into next week, you see a defensive effort that resembles more of what we've seen throughout the season, especially going up against the Detroit Lions yet again. Shout out to the super chat from Tim Vanderberg. He said, best Bears content out there. Keep on trucking Bear down from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. We know about Amsterdam, my guy. Sweat and a second for Crosby. Sweat and a ham sandwich for Crosby, my guy. Whatever it takes. Did y'all see Max Crosby one-legged fadeawaying right after they were like, oh my God, I can't believe that we've lost Max Crosby for the season. How are we going to survive? He's like, y'all told me to leave, so I went home. Let me go out here and ball out. Well, he's got to have surgery on this torn meniscus. Ha-ha, turnaround fader. Hey. I would love Max Crosby on this team. The L with the super chat said, our problem is that we don't have one above average D lineman, but we have one getting paid like one. Disrespectfully, all praise the breeze. I would say that Montez Sweat is above average. Yeah, like, listen, do I think that he's Khalil Mack? No. But Montez Sweat is still having a top, I mean, I don't know. What do they have him ranked on? Fifth. And the thing is, he has the numbers to go with it, too. Oof, I need these letters to be bigger. Montez Sweat on fifth right now is, give it a sec. He is top 7 in stops. He is 3rd in forced fumbles. He is 13th in solo tackles. He is 12th in the NFL in sacks with 10. I thought he had 9.5. Did they give him a half sack yesterday? This says he has 10. PFF might be wrong on that one. He is 3rd in batted passes. He is, where's his pressure rates? He's top 20 in hurries. He's 27th in pressure. So he's average. Is he getting paid like he's well above average? Yes. But I'm not sitting here going, oh, Montez Sweat is the worst defensive end that I've ever seen on this team. I would like to have a better one. The problem is you went out and you paid Grady Jarrett. You went out and you paid Dio Adangbo. And Grady more for leadership. So I got more beef with the Dio Adangbo part of this. You went out and you paid those guys big money, and they haven't given you the pressure that you hope to get. I've said this is an issue all season. Remember, when everybody else was not healthy, that was the one thing that I looked at where I was like, well, that's your actual pass rush. Like, that is your, like, those are your front four. Gervon Dexter, Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett. And at that point, it was Dio Adangbo out there. Now it's Austin Booker. Those are the guys that you paid and thought that they were going to go out there and create all this pressure on the quarterback. Like, that's an issue that needs to be addressed. It's an issue that needs to be addressed quickly. And unfortunately, it's an issue that I don't think gets addressed very soon. It's an off-season problem. There's not a way for you to fix it this season. But now the question becomes, well, how far can you realistically make it in the playoffs? So here's what I want to do. Let's look at the playoff teams. Look at the playoff teams in the NFC, because I think that this has become this conversation today has become that the Bears are never going to be able to get anywhere in the playoffs. They're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs because of this defense. And that hasn't been the case all season. And I also don't think that we're looking at the teams that we might end up going up against. So right now we will be facing the Green Bay Packers in the first round. This is a defense that did in fact beat the Packers and held them down scoring wise. The Packers team is banged up, but y'all know I don't really care about that when it comes to divisional matchups, because in a divisional matchup, they know everything about you. You know everything about them. So it comes down to the physicality. Will this Bears team play a more physical brand of football in their game? I think that they will. If you're going up against Malik Willis the entire game, I'm a little concerned about that. But can Caleb Williams go out there and play good football and seem like he's kind of figured some things out versus this Packers team? I think that he can. Also, they're incredibly banged up. Their defense is a shell of what it once was without Micah Parsons out there. They can't get pressure rushing for either. You have the best offensive line in football. So, okay. I'm not that worried about the Packers. If you face the Rams probably the best team in the NFC overall. The Rams score off with the Eagles the first week. An Eagles team that you've gone out there and beaten. Now, I would expect the Rams to win that game, but you got to go into Philly to do it. That's not an easy task. I know that everybody's like, oh, Philly is awful and they've fallen off and they're not a good football team anymore. They're 11-5. They're the third best team in the NFC. In fact, the only reason that they are third is because you beat them. So you need to win this final game so that you remain second. The 49ers just showed you that you can go toe for toe with them. They're fifth right now. The Eagles you have beaten. And I'll be honest with you, Sam Darnold is not good. Sam Darnold is going to be the reason that the Seahawks lose in their first playoff game this year. That defense is phenomenal. That defense is terrifying. You may never see him because I think Sam Darnold is going to absolutely crap to bed. By the way, Sam Darnold would get either the Rams or the Eagles, I believe. Oh, no, it would be, he would get the Rams or whoever ends up being fifth. Oh, and by the way, he may not get a home game. So now Sam Darnold has to go on the road. So who in the NFC is this perfect team that this Bears defense that played really bad yesterday is going to be the thing that holds it back? I think the 49ers could be in the NFC title game. Their defense sucks. I feel like we have one loss in which it went down to the wire, came down to a final play, has changed the opinion of what we've seen on this from this defense the entire season. A defense that we praise, the DC that we have talked about for being able to go out and find CJ GJ, a DC that we have praised for going out and being able to develop DeMarco Jackson, to be able to have Antoine Randall, being able to have Nashawn Wright ready. Like, we knew it wasn't perfect. We knew this team was flawed. We knew this defense was flawed. It changes nothing for me. The high hopes that I had, I still have them. Why? Because this is who this defense has been the entire season. I'm actually confused by people who are blindsided by what we saw yesterday. I'm actually confused by people who are sitting here stunned out of their minds by the fact that the 49ers went and put out 42 points on us. Oh, by the way, if your defense does have another game where it seems like they're struggling and not able to really keep pace, your offense is able to keep you in that game and give you a chance to win it down the stretch. That's something that we haven't said ever. Maybe the first 4 games of Rex Grossman, that first month. But that is truly something that we have never said, that your offense, I can count on Caleb Williams and this offense to keep pace. Honestly, was anybody at the end of that game concerned that we wouldn't have a shot to win the game? My biggest concern yesterday was, are they going to get the final play? Is it going to run? And I love that Ben Johnson took accountability on it. I think Ben Johnson thought that the hook and ladder was going to be the kill shot. When they got that play, Caleb Williams running over, he's yelling to clock it. They clock it. 4 seconds left. I think that was one moment where Ben might have been scrambling a little bit. He said after, I didn't get the play call in time. Caleb had to kind of piecemeal the play together. It was off from the start. Play doesn't go off without a hitch. So I look at Ben. I'll be honest with you. I look at Caleb too. Hey, you've been in this offense long enough, and I feel like Caleb feels this way. He sounded like it in the post-game presser yesterday. I should have known how to line those guys up. We were disjointed, but I should have had that kind of. I should have known what that was. Because more than likely in that situation, you're going to your best play that you've played with all year. Diesel said, we got a reality check of what our defense looks like against an elite play caller. Shanahan exposes our defense for what it is, below average, not formidable, when not generating turnovers. So they haven't played any other elite play callers this season. Now, Shanny did a phenomenal job. I will give you credit on that. But I would say Matt LaFleur is a pretty elite play caller. I would say Kevin O'Connell is a pretty elite play caller. I think for the most part, most of this season, we've played some pretty elite play callers. Now, if we want to say the defense isn't going to be able to go out there and get the job done, I mean, I'm here for it without turnovers. I'm here for that. I understand that. But I don't know if it was just because you went against this elite play call. Now, they did some great things. They got the numbers on their side, running the football every time they wanted. But again, I go back to the first thing that I said about this defense. My concern is not talent level. I think a lot of people are sitting here looking at talent level. My concern is, unless, listen, and maybe it's affecting some of the players on the defensive side of the ball, the illnesses that they went through, maybe some guys were sick, but I saw a lot of guys that looked like they were making some business decisions yesterday. I was surprised by that. That's what surprised me most. I saw a lot of players out there that looked like they were like, well, we're done. I ain't got it. Again, maybe the illness is through the whole team. Maybe everybody in there is sick, right? Maybe the defense has the flu and everybody said, F it, we're playing. That could be the case. I don't know. But with the information that is given to us, what I saw on the field yesterday was not a defense that lacked talent. It was a defense that lacked want to. And the second that belt came out, they folded. Is that a problem in leadership? Is that a problem in DA? Is that a problem? Maybe. But this is a defense that we've seen quit before. Remember how good this defense was last season? At the beginning of the season? And then they kind of realized it was over and they just started being like, well, we're going through it. Not making tackles, avoiding contact. not giving that extra bit of effort to try and get guys on the ground. That's how that looked yesterday to me. And that scares me a little bit. But what I will say is this. Seeing that in season, maybe that's the time you want to see it. Because that's the time where DA, Ben Johnson, can get after you, can light a fire under you. That's the time that they can really show, hey, if y'all not going to give effort on this, playoff, oh no, you're not going to get this opportunity to mess us up in the playoffs. Again, I don't know the dynamics of what everybody's going through. I know that everybody is banged up on the defensive end. They're all playing through injuries. But that was my issue with what I saw defensively yesterday. I mean, I saw a couple plays. Big Bill just looked like he just gave up on pursuit. There was one where it just looks like Montez has Purdy dead to rights, and just poor technique tackling. I mean, the poor tackling is shocking at this point. For a team that still, I think what's shocking about it is it's for a defense that still does get more hats to the ball than you would expect. There's usually 4 or 5 guys around. Like yesterday, there was guys around Christian McCaffrey all day. They didn't tackle him, but they were around him. They watched him as he went past. Got to lock back in. Sometimes a tough loss at the end of the season can do that for you. And what I will say is this. If the Bears were to make a run to the Super Bowl, that would be what? Where they're at right now, you're going to play the wild card game. You're not, I mean, literally the NFC West would have to die for you to get the 1 seed at this point. So you're going to play the wild card game. 4 wins, 5 wins left, right? Detroit, wild card game, divisional game, championship game, Super Bowl. I've seen this team go on a 5-stretch run defensively where they continue to take the ball away and give the offense opportunities versus good football teams. It's not out of the norm. You just got to be locked in to do it. You got to be focused to do it. Again, I'm pleased with where this season is at. Everything to this point is gravy on top for me. As many wins as they can get in the playoffs is gravy on top for me. If you get the Packers in the first round, which it looks like is probably going to happen unless you end up dropping to the 3 seed, but I know that Ben Johnson ain't ducking no smoke. So you're probably playing your starters versus Detroit, which I think you need to anyway. I gotta do a deep dive, and J-Mac talked about this yesterday. You know, the conversation always comes up every year. Do you rest your starters the final game? Do you not play your starters the final game? How often does that work? How often does resting starters the final game lead to this deep playoff run? I feel like more times than not, we spend the next week after somebody's rested the starters the final game going, man, they did not look ready for that game. They looked like they had taken their foot off the gas. That is not the team that we saw all season. So Ben Johnson's playing them. Right, like it's not like you're changing it. He's playing them. And I would expect them to go out there and handle business versus the Detroit Lions. Now, will Detroit play their starters? We'll see. If they don't play their starters, it might be different. Detroit is done. They might be packing it. They might be trying to get some rest for the season. But Dan Campbell's kind of a maniac, and he's going up against Ben Johnson. I would expect him to play his starters as well. The scroll says, can't bank on taking the ball away. We need to tackle and get to the quarterback. I agree we need to tackle. I agree we need to get to the quarterback. But we banked on taking the football away all season. We continue to say this like it's a magical thing that isn't going to happen anymore. Like the Bears haven't put themselves in position for takeaways. You know what I mean? Like we sit here and act like this hasn't been the norm for this team. I can bank on takeaways because they have happened in just about every single game, I think, except 2. So, like, I do expect to see this defense take the football away. I do expect them to give the offense more chances than not to win the game. Because that's the identity that this team has had. Not they go into a playoff game and prove us wrong. That's different. But the expectation for who you've been over 17 games is who you are. I feel like every time there's a game that the Bears don't win and there aren't multiple, that's when it just becomes, oh, well, I told you can't expect that to happen all season long. It's happened all season long. I'm not in the slightest worried about the Bears taking the football away. But hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at the Windy City Breeze. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Let's hope that this loss fuels this team and gets them back on track. That they don't sit here and, spiral out of control and lose the next 2. I don't expect it to happen. And I'll be honest with you. You get the Packers in the first round. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, man, like I said, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Keep your heads up, Chicago. Mugs out here acting like the world is ending. It's okay.
The best show for Chicago.
Keep your heads up, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
Oh, my God.